There really is quite a likeness between me and my chalk portrait. See? Can't see the difference. Me, chalk portrait. That's the mermaid. I have one talented niece. I have 3 talented nieces. One of them is obviously very talented at chalk portraits. One of them is very talented at being a very naughty little monkey. And one of them, as she is only a few months old, is very talented at pooing everywhere. If you haven't watched the video that I just uploaded, which is my tattoo video, I will explain briefly that I am ill, so that's why I look like 50 Shades of Shit and why I sound a bit dodgy and I might cough and splutter. I'm sorry. This video I've been promising for a little while. I recorded it yesterday, but I was going to record it last week, but then I got ill. I lost my voice and then it came back and I sounded like Barry White. I recorded it yesterday, and to make myself look human, I put on just a ridiculous amount of makeup and I just looked like a transvestite, aardvark, porcupine thing. So I'm having to re-record it. And I feel horrendous and I have an awful migraine, so please give it a thumbs up and subscribe before you've even watched it to appreciate how awful I feel. Okay, in all seriousness, I'm doing this because I really want to help anyone who is in this situation, because I know how shitty it can be. And also, I don't want it to be interpreted as me being a downer about Christmas. That's what this video is about. This video is about Christmas with a mental illness, and specifically people that are struggling with dealing with Christmas, not feeling the Christmas spirit. First of all, I thought I'd give you a little bit about my background in regards to Christmas, and why I feel a bit about the way I do. This video isn't about me, this video is to try and help other people. But to do that, I guess I need to explain a bit about why I feel the way I do. You know, Christmas used to be happy. I had the usual nice, happy childhood Christmases, despite the fact that I remember the first dark thought I had was at Christmas when I was 5. Christmas hasn't always been bad. I'd say it used to be like my favourite time of year. There are several reasons why it's kind of changed. Firstly, I fell ill at Christmas, or just after, 2 days after Christmas. By fell ill, I mean I became physically ill before I was kind of developed an eating disorder. I'd say I've struggled with mental illnesses long before that, but when my life officially stopped, I kind of class it as that day, I guess, and it was like it was the 27th of December. I came down with the first symptoms of glandular fever and viral arthritis and then ME. And it kind of all hit me all at once, which is why I came down with it so severely. I was 13 at the time. I never went back to school. I literally took to my bed. It feels like I've never left my bed, because I've kind of lived in this room ever since. You know, that's almost 17 years. And it was, so yeah, it was 2 days after Christmas, so it was kind of Christmas was the last thing that I remember. I was kind of starting to feel poorly, and something really bad had happened 2 days before Christmas as well. I'd had a pretty horrific incident with the girls that were bullying me at school. So that Christmas wasn't a great Christmas for me. There's a photo of me posing with my brother and sister, and I'm smiling, like great big smile on my face, but my face is all puffy and my eyes are really, really puffy, and I've got makeup on. I've got eyeliner on, but can tell that I've literally been crying for days. So it's kind of around that time that I fell very poorly, and I've always been physically ill since then as well. So that's the last time that I remember having any physical health that I felt okay with. I haven't felt physically well since then. I also had a series of bad Christmases, starting with when I got together with my first boyfriend when I was, I can't remember exactly, I think I was 23, 24, I guess. I got together in September, and our first Christmas together. Things had already started badly, but I was in complete denial. He was my first boyfriend. Obviously I'd been ill for 10 years up until that point, so it was my first piece of normality, but I didn't know what was and wasn't normal in a relationship, and the way he was treating me wasn't normal. The things that he was doing to me wasn't normal. I didn't know that, and some stuff happened over Christmas, and I wasn't in the country. I was in Switzerland. It was just after Christmas. We were together for kind of a year, and then that was the next awful Christmas. We broke up again in September. I was pretty much sedated for the next few months, because I remember that was when I started using diazepam regularly. I don't really remember those few months. I think that was my first few serious attempts on my life, and that was a pretty awful Christmas. I would say the last 4 years have been awful. Specifically the last 3, I've refused presents, and I've spent the months leading up to it either starving myself or attempting suicide, doing things to myself that, taking overdoses and trying to jump off a bridge a few days before Christmas, paying for hotel rooms so that I can take a massive overdose and nobody would find me. I would say the first year I got no Christmas cards was a real point for me that I felt, wow, this sucks. Christmas is about friends and family and love and joy and being together and being with people, and when you don't have any friends, when you don't feel wanted by your family, when you can't feel joy, when you have no concept of love, when waking up is a task in itself. Is it any wonder that I feel the way I do about Christmas? Whilst the whole world is out there kind of shitting jingle bells, I'm sat crying over the sound of the Home Alone soundtrack. I really love that music, and I love that film, but it makes me cry. Now, as I said, the last thing I want to do is for people to think that I'm trying to make Christmas a big downer. I'm not. I want to make anyone who might feel the same way that I possibly do, or for anyone who resonates with anything that I say in this video, to make them feel less alone and to make them feel that the way that they feel is not bad, and that it's okay. If I am alone in this, then good, because no one should feel this way. No one should feel this bad ever, but at this time of year. But I don't think I am alone, and it's not talked about. It's quiet. It's too quiet. it shouldn't be, and that's why I'm making this video, because people shouldn't be ashamed, and people shouldn't be made to feel ashamed about feeling like I don't know. I just want to try and say a few things that I know I would have liked people to say to me, even if it doesn't help make things better. If it can help anyone stop feeling any worse over this time, because I know that it gets worse and worse the closer it can get to Christmas. If I can stop anyone feeling any worse, then yeah. If there's people that think, oh well, I'm cool with Christmas, I love Christmas, and you're bringing me down about it, then don't watch this video. I'm making this video for people who, not for people that hate Christmas, because I love Christmas. I struggle with Christmas. It hurts because it's hard. As I said earlier, it's like having all the things that trigger off the pain in me. It's like having it blown up and intensified right there. Having salt rubbed into a really open wound for months on end, and the salt getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and the wound getting bigger and bigger and bigger. First thing I'll say is, don't feel bad or guilty for not feeling in the spirit of things. As much as it'd be great for our mental illnesses to just disappear in a puff of air, it's not our fault. I know that I feel a horrific amount of guilt, and other people make me feel guilty through no fault of their own, because people don't understand that it's not about not wanting to get into the spirit of things. There's a difference between the average Joe on the street who just doesn't like the fact that Christmas music starts playing in October, and someone who is genuinely suffering from a mental illness and finds the Christmas period hard. So don't feel bad or guilty for the fact that you are suffering at this time of year. It's not your fault, and don't let anyone else make you feel bad or guilty. I know it sounds really simplistic, but hopefully hearing it from someone else and knowing that there are other people going through this, and that it's not just you, and knowing that this isn't something that you're choosing, hopefully make that a bit easier. So yeah, no guilt. No guilt. Guilt is for murderers and rapists and bad people. Having a mental illness doesn't make you bad, so shush now. Okay, go with the moment. If you have any times where you feel able to embrace things, then go with it, whether it's a minute or an hour or a day or a week or whatever. Then embrace it, whether it's just listening to a Christmas song or watching a film. If you're on your own or you're with people, then embrace it and go with it. If you don't, then obviously don't. But if you do feel that you feel able to kind of embrace the festivities and all of that, then go with it. Don't overthink it. Don't start thinking about what it means and everything. Just go with it. Whether it be if you've got an eating disorder, and if somebody offers you a piece of food or something and you feel able to, and you feel brave enough to try it, then try it. Or whether it's you're on your own and you feel like you maybe want to watch a film that's got a Christmas theme, and you know that in a couple of hours you're going to be not feeling so great, but you're like, well, I'll watch this now. Or if somebody asks you if you want to go out, and you know that maybe there's going to be some Christmas things around, and you're like, well, I'll deal with that. That in a few hours it will be over, but you'll be able to deal with it now. Then, as long as you feel able to deal with that, then do. If you don't feel able to deal with that, then don't force yourself. Don't don't fake it, because I think that can be more detrimental, and I will talk about that more in a minute. Just embrace any moments that come up. If they don't come up, then hopefully you'll have more Christmases that will be better. I'm trying to remember that although the build-up is there for what feels like forever, it is essentially just one day. And I know that that is... oh my head. I know it can seem really painful. It's just getting through that one day, especially if you're on your own. Just do whatever you can to feel safe, and do whatever you can for yourself. Be selfish if you need to be, so long as you don't do anything detrimental to yourself. So long as you're doing the right things for yourself for the right reasons, then if you have to be a bit selfish for your own good, then be a bit selfish for your own good. If you have someone, then try and explain to them how you really feel about this time of year. Just so that you've got someone who understands and who isn't going to be judgmental. Even if you only talk to them about it once. Having someone who understands how you feel, it can mean that you internalise it less, because if you're focusing so hard on keeping it inside because you don't want people to know how you really feel, as I said earlier, it can almost feel like a dirty secret, you know, saying, oh, I'm really not looking forward to Christmas. Actually, I'm really, really fucking dreading Christmas. So people, I think, will often fake it, which, if that works for you, then great. I've tried that last year. I noticed that my mum was kind of tiptoeing around the subject. She was hosting it for the first year for my nieces. I know she really wanted to look forward to it, and she didn't want to tiptoe around the subject. So I kind of faked it, and I literally tried to be the living embodiment of Christmas, and it was detrimental to myself. So I personally think that can be more detrimental, because if you're kind of faking something so hard, you're pushing down how you really feel, and you're pushing down so hard that the feelings are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You will end up self-destructing in a far bigger way than if you were just honest in the first place. My personal opinion will be is, if you have to fake it for a small amount of time, then I guess that's okay, but just try and be honest about how you feel. Obviously, going on a big rampage and ranting about how you are just dreading Christmas because of how shitty you feel, that's probably not ideal, but trying to be honest about how much you're struggling. I kind of tend more to say at this time of year than saying Christmas. This is kind of aimed at both people who are struggling and people around the people who are struggling. There is a difference between someone who is Scrooge and who is miserable and grumpy, someone who is suffering with a mental illness and who finds this time of year difficult. Don't let anyone tell you differently, and don't let anyone make you feel different or make you feel crap about yourself because of how you feel, because it's not your fault. Nobody deserves to be like this or to be suffering like this anyway. That's the last thing I have to say on this. I really want to get this out as soon as I can, because obviously it's a time sensitive thing. I wanted to get it out last month, but yeah, that didn't happen. I can't even see straight right now. I can't say Christmas is going to be that great for me. I hope everyone finds something that they can be okay with. Not just okay with, I hope they can find things they can be fucking great with, but yeah. So, peace out, human beings. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and like it if you like it, and like it if you don't, because, you know, I don't know why. Anyway, I'll leave you now because I'm going to get back into bed now. Thank you. Bye.